You ever have one of those mornings where your whole world flips before you've even had coffee? Well, imagine this. I woke up at 3 in the damn morning, still half in a dream, and realized my father's Mustang, that piece of history we spent 3 years restoring side by side, was gone. Not just moved, not borrowed, vanished from my own garage. You know that feeling when your stomach drops and you're pretty sure you forgot how to breathe? Yeah, that was me standing there in my pajamas looking at an empty space where a family legacy used to sit. Now, my first thought wasn't some pro job. No, I suspected my teenage neighbor, Kyle Henderson, the kid who'd been pestering me to borrow the car for weeks. But before I could even get my wits together and dial the cops, my phone rings. It's his mother, Lori Henderson, the Queen Bee HOA president, calling to accuse me of harassing her son. The audacity, right? She had no idea who she was picking a fight with, and trust me, by the end of this whole mess, neither did anyone else in Meadowbrook Heights. Let me back up a second. I'm Michael Reed, 45, recently widowed, just trying to put my life back together in this supposedly quiet neighborhood after a couple decades, wearing the badge as police chief down in Riverside. Thought I could get some peace here, maybe find comfort washing that 1969 Boss 429 Mustang with a little classic rock in the background, the kind of therapy money can't buy. That car wasn't just a machine, it was years of sweat, laughter, and memories with my old man, especially after losing my wife in that crash 2 years ago. So Saturday mornings were sacred. I'd be out there sun peeking in, garage open chrome shining, just me, my thoughts, and that Mustang. First time I met Kyle, he rolled by in a brand new BMW convertible. Kid couldn't have been more than 17, but the moment he saw the Mustang, his eyes went wide like he'd spotted the Holy Grail. Boss 429, he asked, rattling off specs like a real gearhead. It actually felt good to talk shop with someone who got it, you know. Maybe I let my guard down a little, sharing stories about tracking down original parts, how me and Dad pieced her back together. For a minute, it felt like handing down a piece of the past. That's when Lori showed up, clipboard in hand. Smile as fake as her concern for the neighborhood harmony. She started off all sugar, praising Kyle, admiring the car, but then bam! She pivots, telling me washing cars with music playing breaks some unwritten courtesy rule. I pulled out the bylaws right there, no such thing. But she stuck to her story. That was the first hint this wasn't a neighborly chat. It was a warning shot. What I didn't know was that Kyle went home that day and blasted photos of my Mustang all over his socials, spinning up this fantasy of being some classic car prodigy. Meanwhile, Lori's researching what a Boss 429 is worth, and the dollar signs are dancing in her eyes. After that, Kyle's always around, hanging on my every word, taking notes about security things I shrugged off as curiosity. Lori starts dropping hints, too, about how much it'd mean for Kyle to work on a car like mine. Looking back, I was the mark and they were casing me for weeks. Here's where it gets twisted. One night, Kyle's in his room Googling jail time for car theft in California, then deletes it like that erases the idea from his head. The seed was planted, though. Monday, he's at my garage BMW full of friends, all filming as he asks, loud enough for the cameras, if he can drive my Mustang for content. 50,000 followers, he brags, offering to pay me like he's doing me a favor. I tell him politely but firmly that the car isn't about money, it's about memories. That doesn't sit well. Over the next few days, the pressure ramps up. First car magazines, then his friends surround my garage, pitching me on going viral. I'm standing there listening to a pack of teenagers tell me my dad's car could make me famous, like that's supposed to mean something. Thursday, the mask drops. Kyle shows up alone, cold and angry, insisting he deserves my car for the value he brings. Friday night, he's back desperate, offering $2,000 to take the Mustang for the weekend, his reputation on the line, he says. I shut him down finally and absolutely. He explodes screaming about respect, how I'm a selfish old man, threatening that his mother runs this place and I'll regret it. That's when I realized this was bigger than a teenage tantrum. This was entitlement, plain and simple, the kind that rots from the top down. I see Lori at her window, not embarrassed, not apologizing, angry. She's whispering poison into Kyle's ear, building a case that I'm the villain, that he's the victim. By the next morning, Lori's filing a harassment report with 911, spinning some wild tale about me grooming her son with a classic car. The operator promises a visit, and Lori's convinced she's about to put me in my place, only she doesn't know who she's really dealing with. Officer Smith shows up, cool and professional. I give him my side, just the facts. Kyle and Lori arrive dressed for Sunday school and play their parts, the concerned mother, the wounded teenager. But Smith's no fool. He's spotting holes in their story before they finish. While everyone's focused on the drama, Kyle seizes his chance, grabs my keys, and bolts in the Mustang. My neighbor Gloria catches the whole thing on video. Smith calls it in. I hand over the GPS tracker info, something every classic car owner should have, by the way. Within minutes, it's a full-blown police chase. Lori tries to play it off. He thought he had permission, but the evidence is piling up. Kyle's live streaming the whole thing, comments exploding. Dude, you're toast. Helicopters, squad cars, the whole 9 yards. My quiet Saturday morning is now national news. And then, predictably, disaster. Kyle takes a curve too fast on Highway 1. The Mustang sails off the road, crumples into a ravine. By some miracle, he survives, broken, scared, and confessing everything to paramedics on camera, no less. Lori tries to coach him even in the ambulance, but Kyle's done lying. Everything's on tape. At the hospital, the story implodes. Officer Smith learns who I really am, a police chief, not just some random neighbor. Lori's world comes crashing down. Filing a false report against a civilian is bad. Filing one against a cop, that's federal. The FBI steps in. Lori faces charges for conspiracy and false reporting. Kyle's looking at grand theft auto and evading police. His live stream is Exhibit A. And let me tell you, social media does what it does best, turns tragedy into entertainment. Lori becomes a meme. Kyle's crash goes viral. Neighbors film her public meltdowns, arguing with anyone who won't back her story, and the world watches as their lives unravel in real time. In court, the evidence is overwhelming. Kyle takes a deal, 18 months. In juvie, 3 years probation restitution for the Mustang. Lori gets 3 years in federal prison and federal probation for conspiracy and false reporting. Her marriage crumbles, her reputation's in shreds, and Meadowbrook Heights breathes a collective sigh of relief. And me, I get my closure the hard way. The Mustang's a total loss, but the community rallies, pitching in to help rebuild it, turning what was meant to break me into a reason to come together. 2 years and a lot of hard work. Later, my father's car rolls out of the garage again, better than new, and the annual community car show is born. I get invitations to speak to police academies about professional restraint. How sometimes the best police work happens off-duty in your own driveway. Lori finishes her sentence and tries to start over, but you can't outrun the internet. Kyle's still paying for what he did, both in dollars and in the long shadow that follows him everywhere. And this neighborhood, well, it finally became what I'd hoped for, a place where folks look out for each other, not just their own interests. Now let me ask you, who do you think was really at fault here? Was it entitlement, bad parenting, or just a series of mistakes nobody saw coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because if this story teaches us anything, it's that you never really know your neighbors until the stakes get high. And if you've got a wild HOA story of your own, you know where to find me.